good afternoon. This is Pam with Follow Your Brush, and I am in my watercolor world. I haven't posted for a couple weeks, but that doesn't mean I haven't been painting. I have been painting and exploring and really enjoying painting some little bitty paintings, some miniature tiny paintings. Was inspired by watching Leslie Strauss on YouTube. She has a 100-day miniature painting challenge. There's a couple I did last week that were fun. I guess they could be sunset and sunrise, I don't know. But I had fun doing those, and I've got them on a little magnetic paper clip to keep next to my chair there. But then I also wanted to get some supplies, and this is one that she had shown. Didn't come with this, I added that. But this is a little miniature palette and paint box from Blue Star Craft. It's leather case, nice wood. It's on a hinge. Comes with a spritz bottle, which it comes in the case like that, but you could also put it here on the side. Originally had it like a little towel in there, but you can put that there. And it has 9 little wells, and I used my paint sticks to fill them, and I'll talk about that in a minute. It also comes with this little teeny tiny brush, which is actually a little bit too tiny for me with my hands. But this can also be used as a mixing well. So, like I say, it has 9 spots, so you could do cool, warm, palette, and a couple extras. I added a sap green and a rich green gold to my basic cool and warm palette. So that's a lot of fun, and I have played with it. I haven't used this brush. I do have a little water brush that you can take that I thought I could add with it when I take it out and about. But it works great. It's a great little palette. It came with some paper. The paper that it actually came with was a little bit too thin and not to my liking for watercolor. So I've cut up some little Arches paper to size. And it also comes with this little Viewmaster. So if you're out painting plein air, you can hold this up to kind of get a picture in mind, an angle, a view that you want to paint. And then it fits on this little paper. So that was one thing. It also has this little water bottle. So that was one thing I purchased, and I've been having fun playing with that. I haven't taken it out and about with me as yet, but I've been playing with it here at the house, just sitting watching Wheel of Fortune and painting. She also recommended using these athletic strips, wristbands. Put it when you're, especially if you're out plein air, just put it on your wrist, and then you have something to put your paintbrush on in between cleaning and changing colors, and so I thought that was cool. Then this came today. I saw this online. I was just looking for tiny palettes online on Amazon, and this showed up, and I thought it was so cute. I love the box. I like boxes. But another reason I like this was it came with not just a palette for your colors, swatch card, but this is porcelain. This is a porcelain palette instead of just a plastic palette, which I really like, because that way you can, they clean up better. They just seem like you can mix your colors better. It's not too heavy. It's a little hefty, but if you were to carry it in your bag, but you know, if you have a travel bag or something else I'm going to show you here in a second, it's not too bad. What I have done, I am loving my Daniel Smith watercolor sticks. Now, I know some of you you know, think they can get kind of messy, and they can. Do have the case for them. This is a set my son ordered me for Christmas. So this one automatically came, this set was the basic set, came with warm and cool. Actually, it came with two sets. Or it's a complete set with 10 colors, let me put it that way. So the, you got your cool, warm, cool, warm, cool, warm, and then a couple extras. Sap green and a burnt umber. So I really enjoy these. They paint just as if you had a paint pan, or you were refilling with tube paints. They are no different than Daniel Smith paint colors. The difference is the consistency is obviously drier. It's great for if you're traveling because you don't have paint running everywhere. And also another reason I like it is because, you know, my thumb, I have this bum thumb that doesn't have any feeling in it because of repeated surgeries, and I have a plate. So my mobility is limited with this right hand. But these allow me to be able to take the stick. I've already done it on this one, but just cut off the tip, and they're almost in their dry form. They're almost like a little bit of clay, a little bit drier. But what I can do, and here's the magic, here's where the magic comes in. Can take some water, and I'm going to just use my spritz bottle for the moment. I don't have a pipette handy. But you can cut your tip, which is easier for me and my fingers. Spritz a little water in there. And then you can lay in your paint, and then it will dry. When it dries, it will adhere. So this one, we can press this one down a little bit more. Go ahead and spritz. And then I will show you how nicely these perform. Put that down, let it just stick in there. I'm gonna get it all over myself, but because that's just what I do. Let me just go ahead and spritz all of these right on top and into the palette. So I already cut them. Chose the colors that I wanted. And by adding a little bit of water, it will activate these paints. That one's a little bit high. I need to squish that one down a little. Here we go. Now I got my water coming out better. So there you go. So I just cut them off, the colors that I wanted. Just cut them with my scissors. They cut very, very easily. And then you can put them in your pan just like you would refill a palette of paints. It's easier for me because of my hand. May not be your first option, and that's fine. If you purchase them per stick, I think the last time I purchased some, I guess depending on the color, they run about $10 a stick, depending on where you purchase it too. On Amazon, but you can also get them from art supply places. And if you were to purchase the tube of the same color, it's probably a little bit more, like maybe $11 to $15 for a 15 mil tube. And they say these are equal, Daniel Smith Company says these are equal to approximately 7 pans. But there's no waste because you can cut them and you don't have to be squeezing the tube, so that's one reason I like it. I'm going to let these sit a minute and sit in their water and show you something else that I purchased. I also saw this from Leslie. I have just been obviously watching her channel recently. She's really, really good if you haven't watched her. She does a lot of line and ink. Line and wash, watercolor and pencil, and sketching and water painting. Fumbling over my words, so let me continue. She bought this to travel with. So if you're going on vacation and you want to travel light, there's options. You have these sticks obviously travel extremely well, especially if you're going to go on an airplane. You don't have to worry about fluids, and you can just dip your wet brush or travel brush right into the paint stick and paint directly from there. You don't even have to take it out and hold it and get your fingers all messy. But she showed this. It's called a nurse's clipboard, and it opens on the side, and you can keep your paper in here so it won't get damaged when it's closed. And then it also opens, and then you have room for supplies. So you have more paper. I've got my tape. I've got a little collapsible water cup. There we go. Or you can take that with you. It does get a little higher. That's all I'm going to do at the moment. So I've got my tape with me. I've got an additional wristband. Got a new eraser. Just some handy clips. Some small paper for mini paintings. More paper, more minis. This is my Tom Studio pen fine liner that you can take out I've done another video on Tom Studio. This is their Lumos Duo. Gonna have 2 different colors on either end. And you can adjust the size of your tips, and it helps to replace purchasing fine liners all the time. So I do like to use these in my paintings. I also have a white gel marker for accents, as well as just a, what's it say? Who made this one? Bic. Just a Bic pencil. And so you can keep your little supplies in here. And actually, I did have this in here as well, and it did close. But we're going to play with this for a minute, so let me keep it out. Let me get out a piece of paper and some tape. The other thing you can carry with you, I didn't put this in there, but this is a set of travel brushes that I got online from, I guess they're called Fumi, F-U-U-M-I-I, and they're supposed to be real sable. Whether they are, is up for debate. This is kind of long with the handle on there. These haven't been used yet. I had gotten this set for my daughter, so these are real stiff at the moment. It's a size 12. So it's kind of like a round, almost like a mop brush. These do work well, and these are great for traveling. This one is a number 8. And if you're doing baby paintings, we got a little number 4. So just gives you a nice little range. And you could also fit these into the case to take with you if you want a travel brush. One of my favorite travel brushes, however, is one that I purchased some time ago. Actually, I got it with one of my art toolkit orders, and it's rubbed off. It's Rosemary and Company Sable, and it says that it is a round 13. This is one that I use like constantly every day. I just keep it handy, and it's just become kind of my to-go brush. I really like that one. So it's from Rosemary and Company. And let's just tape off a piece of paper here. Here's the correct side. So I have my tape inside. The surface is clear plastic, so you can just tape right on here, and you have something to mount your paper mounted on as well. And then we'll play with my new little my new little palette that I could carry with me as well. I'm folding over the edges because it makes it easier to, remove your tape when you're done. To have that little tab. And I come in just about, I don't know, just visually try to come in about maybe 1/4 of an inch. I don't know. And tape it off. Got some paint on there already. So there we go. So pretend we're on vacation. We got all our supplies in this plastic box. Got my colors handy. I've got my travel brush handy. And let's try these new colors. Actually, I could have moved this over a little bit. Let me do that while we're still talking, and I haven't gotten started yet. I'm just lifting this off. And I'm going to move it on down here so I have a place to put my little paint palette. But I just got this one with the ceramic today, so I wanted to play with it. So let me put it right here. That should work. So I've got my cool colors and my warm colors, and they're spritzed and ready to go. And here's my Rosemary and Company. I'm going to just kind of do one of my favorite ways to paint is just to drop some water in. Maybe you can see it. Hopefully you can see where the water is. It makes the paper shiny. Zoom in a little bit. And then what I like to do is come in and just drop my colors. And because we're playing, and I already got a drip right there, it looks like phthalo turquoise, I'm just going to use that. Let it run a little bit. That, to show you how pigmented these paint sticks are, that was just a little bit of there's a little violet. That was a little bit of just a little sliver almost that had come off with when I cut the stick. So let's kind of come in here. I'm kind of doing some negative painting. I'm not going into where the wet is. I'm coming around it. I'm going to leave the wets, it's kind of backwards, I know. Because I started out like that over here, it's just not where the wet was. I'm just gonna kind of continue to play with it like that. So there's my phthalo turquoise. This is one of my favorite colors. And as you can see, we call this negative painting, where you paint in between the spots. Finishing up with my phthalo turquoise here, and then I'm going to come in with another color. But I'm going where it's dry, not where it was wet. So I already reversed my plan on you. But I am going to come in here to where it is wet in a second. It's a staining color, so beware of that. It's going to stain your paper when you do wet on dry. It's a piece of Arches, which is one of my favorites papers. Here a little bit darker. Let's go a little bit lighter down here. So we kind of have a little bit of a shape going on there where I had previously wet the paper. I'm going to kind of let this dry. That's pretty. Now I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not going to touch it. Now I'm going to come back into here where got a little bit too much blue in there, so I can use my wristband, clean my brush, and let's decide what we want to do in here for the flower. This is Quin Burnt Orange, and this is one of my most favorite colors. Isn't that pretty? And you can see how pigmented these watercolor sticks are. And I want to darken it a little. So I'm coming in here with some undersea green. And look at that pretty brown I just made. So what I'm going to do is, where this is wet right here, it's going to drop that pretty neutral right in there. And that can be kind of a center of a flower, maybe. Let's do a little bit more down here. And have another center. And just trying to think here what I might also want to do. Clean this off. See how well this works? You can clean your brush. Gonna let that sit a minute. Now look what the water's doing. The water is pushing down that blue. And I'm just gonna let it do it, because watercolor likes to paint itself, and I like to just kind of let it go for it. If I do yellow flowers, as though this were a sunflower or something, it's going to run into this blue, and trying to make it, I'm going to just make some blooms on purpose here. We call it blooming or cauliflowers when the paper is still wet and you can come back into it, actually prematurely, and it will give you what we call a bloom. Sometimes I like to use it as a technique just to kind of give me some texture. I like the way it looks. And this is just a playtime, not trying to do any masterpiece or anything like that. I can kind of come in here and kind of form up some of these petals, maybe. bring some of that down. Maybe even up here like this. Let some of this sneak out into that wet spot. I can also, if I want it to be a white flower, take some of this and bring it up into my petals. Some imaginary petals. There's so many things you can do. I like that. I kind of like that. Let me come into this one too. Bring that stem on down into here. I kind of messed that one up a little bit, but that's okay. That's how we learn, by playing. I like that color, and I like I love the Quinburn orange. I'm gonna add some more here while it's still wet. I give the center to my flower. I've been playing and doing a lot of sunflowers recently. So I guess that's where I'm getting my inspiration for this as well. With the blue background, did the background first. It's still probably, some places are too wet, but let me come in with some of this Hansa Yellow Light. I do have some water on the bottom, so I can use that to help moisten my paper, my paint, my pigment. The watercolor sticks are just so magnificent as far as pigment. They just flow instantly and give you a beautiful, beautiful color, like just right off the bat. So it's just like having a tube paint or a pan paint, because they are the same. They act the same. They just have less moisture. I really enjoy them. Really, really enjoy them. Let's come down here. I am going to add a little bit of my warmer yellow here in a second. But I want to kind of finish this up here, coming down this way. Now I know I have that blue there, and I said I was going to I didn't want it all to turn green, but now I am going to come in with some green. This is Undersea Green. And let's see what happens if I mix it with it. It's that brown. Let me try mixing it with some of the yellow. See what I get. Undersea Green is granulating. So I don't know that I want that. Let me try some of this rich green gold. I try to do the light colors first. So there's kind of the stem and the stem for my flower. Got this baby one here. I have a bloom. You see the bloom? I'm just going to paint into it. I'm going to use it to my advantage. and just let it go. I'm just going to let it bloom. With watercolor, you just kind of have to let it do what it wants to do. And so if that's what it wants to do right now, that's what we're going to do. And part of that is just because I get impatient and I don't let it dry. I do like that wet on wet though. See that? Isn't that pretty? I like to see how it how the colors just mingle wet on wet and just give you those little rivulets of color. I just really, really enjoy that. Just go ahead and make some kind of a leaf. Cute. Use my wristband. Come over here back to my Hansa yellow light while I've got it out. This flower actually is kind of, it doesn't really know which way it wants to go. That's because I don't have a reference photo, so I'm just playing. I'll get some more green in there. Now, I'm not sure what I want to do with that. So I'm not going to do anything yet. This looks more like broccoli. This is my new gamboge. I'm going to come in here with my new gamboge and add some warmer colors to this. It is drying rather quickly. Otherwise, I would make an even bigger mess. I'm not good at letting things dry like I should properly. But when I'm really trying to paint and not just playing around, I do give myself the drying time. I like to have the colors just kind of dry on their own, actually, because I like what they do when they dry and when they mingle with each other. I really enjoy that. If it's wet and then you come back in with some color, and then you can see the magic that watercolor likes to do. Let me add some more of this over here, and maybe we can give this some life to this poor little flower that I abandoned down here. Just give it some life. I just kind of left it out in the cold, didn't I? Oh, poor baby. I'm going to look at this later and be like, why did you even put a flower there? It's just there was an empty spot, so I thought maybe you could use it. I could add some more of the this brown in there. That was the Quin Coral. I'm sorry, the Quin Burnt Orange. Let's just put a little bit more here. Make this maybe a couple little stems. So that's what I like to do. I like to play and to see what happens. This is dry, so I can come in with another color. I do have, I did the Phthalo Blue Turquoise, one of my very favorite colors. I might totally mess this up, but I'm gonna come right in here since that's kind of dry. Got a little bit of yellow trying to peek out. I'm lifting a little bit of color, but I'm going to come in here with my Indanthrone Blue. Oh, you know what? It's not Indanthrone Blue. It's Undersea Green. All right, let's do some Undersea Green. Oh my goodness. That actually might be the ticket that this little plant needs, is some more leaf and stem structure, some more foliage. So there we go. Let me soften this a little bit. I like soft edges. That gives this corner a little darker appearance. And I like that. I like that. So let me carefully come, not too pigmented, down into this area and do a little bit of negative painting around this little guy. I kind of like that. So this is what I've been doing. I just sit and play. I don't record everything every day, but I wanted to show you some of my tiny supplies. And I've been having fun with that. Gonna leave some blue spots there. And I really like that. I'm gonna add some more over here just because I like it. Gonna go in carefully around the areas, around the spots. This is negative painting. It took me forever to figure out how to do this, to see the negative, which means you're just looking at the shape and painting around the shape instead of painting the shape. Once you see it, then you'll see it, but it took me forever to try to see it. I just couldn't quite get it, the concept. Now this one I've already painted my positive shapes in, so it's not as mysterious. But you get the idea. Let this undersea green come over this blue. That's pretty, I think. And if I just skip across the top, it's actually leaving some little clear areas that are working well. So this is fun. But I wanted to show you my little supplies. And my little travel thing if you're going on vacation, some ways that you can travel light. I'm going to take just some water here and bring some of these colors out. I just like the way it's kind of, whoops, I forgot the corner. Let's do the corner. Let's soften up here too. It's dry now, so it's just kind of like I'm just using a very thin layer over that blue. Just kind of soften that up a little bit. And I like that. I like it a lot. I like it. I like it. So I hope you're having fun. I hope you're experimenting. That's how we learn. And if you want to join the 100 tiny paintings, that's going on. I think a lot of people are doing it. So there's my little painting for today and my new porcelain palette, which I really like. And just an example of how I put my colors in there. And then because they're spritz now, they will dry in there like a pan palette, and so they won't be falling out. And let me show you how easily the porcelain cleans up. That's why I like porcelain palettes. Look, at that. And then you're good to go. So you don't have any staining like you might with plastic palettes. So there we go. That's my little playtime today. Hope I haven't talked too long. I hope you've enjoyed it. Oh, I didn't show you my, there you go. There's my palette. Cleaned it up. There's my colors from my water sticks. And I did spritz them, so they will dry like that and stay in there without falling out. This is from Bowerbird Travel Ceramic Color Box. And I got it on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. But I thought it was so cute. And this other container is my Nurse's box. I'm not sure what it's called. And this is from Blue Star Craft. I'll put the links in there for you. Have a wonderful day, and thanks for following, liking, subscribing, and all those things that we do.